Hi there, this is Nanette Nolan with LTEN, and I'm here to give you a super brief overview of the LTEN Virtual Connect platform. You, as of February, June 5th, would have or will have received an email from Feedloop, P-H-E-E-D-L-O-O-P, which is our software provider, and that would have a link to this page as well as the email you registered with and a password. So before I get into the platform, I wanted to give a couple of quick notes. We do recommend that you view this on Google Chrome on like a laptop or computer for the best viewing experience. We know that Google just made a recent update to their Google Chrome software. So if you're not sure that you've uploaded the most recent, you could always Google Chrome and then go to the main page and then download the most recent version. That might mean you have to download an exe file. I wouldn't wait till last minute. I do it maybe over the weekend or on Monday. And it's also quite likely that your IT department or whoever manages your home, network or home computers may already have you set up on some sort of like automatic update. Another quick thing to note is throughout the first time you enter into this event, you'll be you'll see notifications that pop up. Accept all of those notifications, so accept the settings. So allow for your camera and microphone and notifications to be allowed, because then this means when someone messages you or calls you or whatever, you can accept all of that. And I think that really just helps make it a more kind of robust experience. And another thing is, if you have a colleague who maybe wants to play around in the system, maybe Monday afternoon, get in early and just kind of, go back and forth and see whether or not, you guys can message and get each other's items or, initiate video calls, that kind of thing. So we do encourage you to play around. The things that I'm going to demo in just a moment, not all of them will be available in the app and on the virtual platform leading up to the event, because some of it we want to keep tucked away until showtime. We will be opening the event up at 10:45 on Tuesday, June 9th. And so that's when everything will be available for you to actually see then. So without further ado, apologies. You're looking goofy with me. Okay, there we go. That was me, just me, I think. So this is going to be the page that you'll initially come to. It's a really clean platform. There's not a lot of places to get lost in. These are going to be all of the workshops. So sessions tab are the workshops, the general sessions, the learning labs, the LTEN talks, all of that good stuff. You can search for the session. You can search for by speaker, and it goes in chronological order. I also recommend you downloading the companion app that goes with this. We have separate directions on that, and a link on the ltenconnect.com/live page. And I think there's also an app link available on ltenconnect.com as well. And you can download the app, and then you'll have kind of like this awesome little sidekick to the experience you're having here. And, I think that does make it nice and kind of rounds it out. So some things to note here before we move on. This is going to be your default setting. This little hamburger button hides the rest of the locations in the virtual setting. So if at any point it kind of tucks away, just know that you can untuck it by just clicking the hamburger. Obviously sort. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to note, although most of our stuff is scheduled, the learning labs, despite saying June 9th at 11, you can actually view them at any point. So, if you have time later in the afternoon, if you have time on Thursday, you can still come back and view these. They're pre-recorded and so available, but we wanted to make sure that they, all were on the schedule and not all crammed onto Tuesdays. So they've been kind of evenly distributed by alpha order. So just know that these will be available, once the live event starts at any point, and will be available, of course, after the event as well. The other thing I wanted to note is that during the live sessions, you can actually move to a screen. I can't demonstrate it here, but there's usually a little icon that allows you to view it in full screen mode, so that's kind of handy. And then over here is a public chat. So this tells you everyone who is here right now. So you can see Kathy McLay, and Eric Lunston, Christine Gaudet is here, and my other persona, I guess that's me. And then you can also see who else has chatted, publicly. So Don's left a message, Christine's left a message, I've left a message. This is where you would type your messages. Maybe add some little emoji. Fairly simple. So whatever you type here, everyone can see. If you'd like to send a private message, let's say Dawn said something especially poignant, you can always message her and say, well, or whatever your note is. And then she would have received a message. So visit your chats in the networking section to continue the conversation. So you'll initiate a conversation here, but then move to your networking tab, and I'll show you that in just a moment. You can also see notifications up here about any who you've received a message from or sent one. Don't forget to click the little check mark, and then it'll clear your tab. So that way it moves them to red, and then you won't have this little icon anymore. So that's kind of a nice thing. If you keep it tidy, it'll allow you to really just know when you've gotten a new notification rather than false positives. So onward to the virtual exhibit hall, we have some really amazing folks. So a lot of these are regulars at a lot of our LTEN live events. They produce some really powerful content, have some really great solutions, and we do encourage you to visit with them. We really thank them for sponsoring, especially Red Nucleus, for being a platform sponsor. Illuminate as our keynote app and board panel sponsor. Genentech came through and as our Kelly Palmer LTEN Talk sponsor. It's just incredible the kind of love and support we've received. So we hope that you will definitely spend some time here. The exhibit hall is actually open the entire duration of the event, but we have designated 1 hour slots on each day, so that way you can spend time without feeling like you're missing out on any workshops or live events. So you can use that 1 hour to kind of poke around and meet other exhibitors. You can sort by product and service. These are the ones that we've kind of assigned or pre-assigned. You can also, I recommend just clicking on several in a day and just learning more about them. I'll take you into the LTEN booth just to kind of see the experience. So you'll see like a really cool little hero image, a little bit about us. You can reach us via email, our website, if you want to join us on social media. And then these are the booth managers. You could initiate a discussion with any one of us, provided again that everyone's here. So sometimes you may send a message and they may not be around. They'll be able to retrieve your message later and then respond to you. So, hey, pretty lady. So once you've done that, they'll initiate a call. I know that they said to use the chat. You can join a video call. I wouldn't use this function here. I'll explain why in just a second. But I think we really want to drive you to the networking tab to have the discussions, because I think there might be, this can get a little confusing. And so anyhow, for whatever reason, this is the automatic setting that comes up. But I do recommend you moving to the networking tab to have those discussions, because it's not always clear that the exhibitor, they may be tied up on other conversations, so they may not be able to jump right away into a video call. So it's a little tricky. So again, don't use this while you're in the booth. If you want to go back to viewing them, click this card here, and you can kind of continue to download their collateral, learn more about their organization. And then there's a video down here. It's showing as an error for me, but that'll play, which is, could be like their demo reel or, something about their company history, for instance. And then to go back out to the main hall, you could just go ahead and click delete in your search, or just click on exhibit hall. And this is lined up by alpha. So I definitely encourage you to spend time here learning more about these exhibitors. And then just know that they can see whether or not you've come to their booth, which is pretty handy, because then they can always follow up and just say, hey, was there anything you had questions about? So just know that that's definitely a component of the networking we've set up here. Under poster presentations, this is going to be available the entire duration of the event. As the name suggests, these are basically quote unquote posters, and they should be fairly descriptive. You can't see that in my two examples here of the LTEN Excellence Award entry that they submitted. So these are finalists, these are winners, and these are applicants who came really close, basically sharing their award-winning ideas with you. So this is my sample here. It would be obviously better looking than this, but the poster itself would speak to what the project was, maybe what the outcomes were, how they set out. You'll see some information on what the category was, the project name, and the company or companies who participated, or team members or individual, whatever the topic may be. You can learn a little bit more about their organization and then learn more about their project, maybe in some in-depth. And so I think that's really cool. And the nice thing is if you click on email, you'll be able to email them a message just saying how much you really appreciated what they did, and maybe to follow up and have additional discussions. Or you can even search for them. If there's a company out, in this case, life sciences, you may reach out and say, hey, I caught your poster presentation and I'd like to connect. So just a couple of ideas to kind of keep in mind as you're navigating this space. Again, this is open the entire time and will be available even post-event. In the networking tab, this is kind of where you want to spend a lot of your time as well, or at least circling back to, especially if you see that there's a notification that you've received a new chat. You can find all of the attendees, exhibitors, and speakers here. And you can also go to chats and continue the conversations you may have had. So, somebody may say, hey, let's go into the networking tab and do a video call, and then they can connect with you. And again, this is where having pop-ups is really important, because those pop-ups are quick. They pop up, maybe like here on your computer, and you don't want to miss the opportunities to go ahead and get into those conversations. But again, if you have somebody who's willing to kind of practice with you and they're registered as well, they might be kind of fun to test it out with, and just make sure you understand so you're ready. Last thing I think second to last thing I want to show you is under settings. We do encourage you to add information. You can upload files, about you. I mean, I don't know what maybe the case study would be there, but you certainly could if you wanted to. You can share with them. We have private files. I guess you could share those with exhibitors and sponsors. You can also set your settings so that whether or not you're visible in the networking section. We hope that you will be, because networking is obviously a huge component of any event, live in person or live virtual, except email notifications, push notifications, and private chat settings. So that is important. And then save changes, obviously. So pretty self-explanatory, but definitely an area we hope that you'll fill out. Hit save changes, and then when you move over here, and then if you have questions, sorry, that was my last point. If you have questions, you can certainly message us. As a team, we'll be kind of dispersed throughout the environment, but another thing or another way to reach us would be, you could always find life sciences, or LTEN, I should say. And you can find most of us here. I come up as 4 different people, and I joked about alternate personas. I promise I'll get it down to just one. But I'm Nanette Nolan. You can reach Christine Gaudet, Mickey White, Tim Sosby, and then I think I'll have to talk to Don about this. But we also have Don Brem and Greg Honroth, who are our colleagues as well. So you can certainly reach any one of us if you have questions during the event. And yeah, I think that's it. I hope you have a really great day. If you have any questions after this event, or after this little tutorial, you can email me directly, Nanette Nolan. So it's NNOLAN @l-ten.org. All right. Thanks so much. Have a great day.